Welcome back to our channel where we bring you the most shocking, captivating real-life stories. Today's story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest threats come from those we least expect. Before we dive into the tale, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to become part of our community. Also, stick around until the end to learn a valuable lesson from the experience of the protagonist. Let's begin. My cousin, who I'll call Amy, was my late husband's cousin. When I say late, I mean he died a year ago from cancer. He was diagnosed with cancer a month before his birthday, which was April Fool's Day. We laughed and joked about the irony. He said, "You know, they should have told me I had this on April Fool's Day because they got me good." He fought it for 6 months, but there was nothing anyone could do. My husband was a hard-working man who always put family first. He was the type of guy who would give you his last dollar and then ask where he could borrow another from. He grew up an orphan, so he understood what it meant to be without family. I suppose that's why when his cousin fell on hard times, he offered her a place to stay in our house. When Amy called me, her voice was cracking and she was crying. "Hello, Rose? Amy, is that you? How are you? Hi, Taya. I've been evicted, and I'm looking for a place to stay. I know it's a lot to ask, but would it be possible for me to stay with you temporarily?" "Of course, Amy, you're family. That's what we do for each other. Come on over, it's not a problem. You can stay with me as long as you want." She took me up on my offer and soon arrived at my door with a few bags and her 2 kids. While Amy searched for work, I gave her some money for necessities. What I didn't realize was, she had no intention of leaving. She'd been watching me, observing my routine and getting comfortable in my house. One day I came home from grocery shopping to find her using my stove and eating from my fridge. I should have kicked her out right then and there. But as silly as it sounds, I didn't. I remember thinking, well, I guess she's here to stay, so I might as well get used to it. She claimed she was trying, but I think she was playing me. I found it strange that a woman with such a troubled past had somehow managed to get a job at my favorite cafe. She told me the manager had given her the position, but that didn't make sense to me because the manager knew Amy from somewhere. They seemed familiar with each other, but Amy insisted that she didn't know the manager personally and that the only reason she got hired was because of her extensive experience working in cafes. One evening, I decided to visit the cafe myself. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air as I walked in. There, behind the counter, stood the manager, chatting with Amy. As they talked, their eyes met mine. The manager greeted me warmly. "Taya, what brings you here? Are you getting some takeout?" "Yeah, actually, I am. I also wanted to speak to Amy in private." Once we were alone, I asked her, "How did you get a job here? You've been unemployed for so long." "Oh, it's pretty simple, actually. The manager saw my resume and liked my experience. Besides, it's a small town. Word gets around that I'm a good worker. The manager was willing to give me a chance. Simple as that." "Is that so? I see. Well, let me tell you, Amy, you'd better keep your nose clean this time. If I hear any more lies, you're out of this house, and I'll make sure you never get a job again." She nodded, but I knew she was thinking, Taya doesn't have a clue. She can't do anything. I'm trapped here forever. As weeks turned into months, Amy started to change. She became sneaky and manipulative. She even started stealing from me. At first, it was just little things like sugar, tea bags, and shampoo. But then it escalated to jewelry and cash. I confronted her about it, but she'd always deny it, shifting the blame onto others. "You have nothing to worry about, Tia. I would never steal from you. I may have a criminal record, but I'm not a thief. I felt helpless. She'd planted seeds of doubt in my mind. I questioned myself. Maybe I was being too hard on her. After all, she was my family and I knew her past wasn't easy. Then one day I discovered she had taken out a loan against my house. I was furious. Why didn't you ask me directly? Because I knew you wouldn't agree. But I had to do it, Tia. This house isn't yours alone. You and Thomas bought it together. I'm your husband's cousin. I have rights here too. I can do whatever I want. I tried to reason with her, but she just laughed in my face. One night, I heard shouting coming from Amy's room. It sounded like her and her boyfriend were having an argument. I couldn't help but eavesdrop on their conversation. The man's voice was rough. "Give me back my money, Amy, or I'll tell everyone in town who you really are. Do you think I'm joking? I can ruin your life in seconds." "No, don't, please. I'll give it back, I promise. I just need a little more time." The man scoffed. "A little more time? You've been saying that for months. I'm running out of patience, Amy. Next time I'm not going to be so forgiving. Understood?" Yes, I understand. Don't worry, I'll pay you back. Please don't tell anyone." Their voices grew softer, and eventually I fell asleep listening to them. In the morning, I knocked on Amy's door, and she opened it with a forced smile. "Good morning, Taya. Did you sleep well?" Yeah, I did. Listen, Amy, I know you're hiding something. Your boyfriend was in your room last night. Tell me what's going on." "Are you serious right now? I told you I need my space. Stop invading my privacy. I'm sick of it. Do you have anything better to do than spy on me?" I turned to leave, but she stopped me. "Wait, Taya. I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said. I just need your help. Can we talk?" "Talk about what? You owe me an explanation, Amy." "Fine. I owe you an explanation. I'm sorry I lied to you. I'm sorry I stole from you. But I've been desperate." "Desperado? Why? Why do you treat me like this? You're my husband's cousin." "You should know that I would have helped you if you had just asked me." "Because I knew you wouldn't agree. You don't trust me. You never did. And to be honest, I hate this house. I hate living here. I hate your precious memories. All I want is to get away from here and start fresh somewhere else. If you let me have the house, I'll give you the money back plus interest. Deal." "What are you talking about? I'm not selling this house. And besides, how do you think I would ever trust you again?" "Trust you? I'm not asking for your trust. I'm offering you a deal. Take it or leave it. But if you don't, I'll have to find another way to get what's rightfully mine." With that, she shut the door in my face. I was shocked and hurt. Here was my husband's cousin, the woman I had welcomed into my home, threatening me and plotting against me. I had never seen this side of Amy. She was cold, calculating, and ruthless. I knew I had to do something to protect myself. Days turned into weeks, and Amy's behavior continued to deteriorate. She became more aggressive and volatile. One day, I found a crowbar in the living room. It looked like she was preparing for a fight. "You'll kick me out on the streets with my kids? Think about them, Tia. Where do you expect me to go? I'm not leaving, so you might as well accept it. This house is mine." She threw the crowbar down and walked away. I was terrified. I knew Amy was dangerous, and I was afraid she might hurt me. I started locking my doors and windows at night. I even installed a security system. But it was clear that Amy had a key to my house. She was watching me, waiting for the right moment to strike. One night, I woke up to the sound of glass breaking. I turned on the light and saw that someone had smashed the window in my bedroom. I screamed, "Help! Somebody help me!" I ran to the window and saw a figure running away. It was Amy. I quickly called the police and told them what had happened. They came and took a report, but they didn't catch Amy. The next morning, I went to the police station to inquire about my case. An officer told me that due to lack of evidence, they couldn't charge Amy. But I have witnesses. The neighbors heard me screaming. Someone even saw Amy running away. Ma'am, we understand this must be difficult for you, but unless we have concrete evidence, our hands are tied. We suggest you take legal action if you wish to pursue this matter further. I was devastated. I felt helpless. I knew Amy was planning something big. One day I received a letter in the mail. It was a summons to court. Amy was suing me for half ownership of the house. I was shocked. This had to be some kind of joke. I reached out to a lawyer, Mr. Davies, and explained my situation to him. He listened patiently and then said, "Don't worry, Mrs. Thomas. I'll handle this case personally. I can assure you that Amy won't get a single inch of your house." I felt relieved, knowing I had someone in my corner fighting for me. The day of the court hearing arrived. I sat nervously in the courtroom waiting for my case to be called. When it was, I entered the room and saw Amy sitting on the other side with her lawyer. The judge entered, and the hearing began. Mr. Davis presented strong arguments, backed by solid evidence proving that the house was rightfully mine. Amy's lawyer tried to contest it, but it was a losing battle. The judge made his ruling. Based on the evidence presented, the court rules that Tia Thomas is the rightful owner of the property. Any claims otherwise are dismissed. A wave of relief washed over me. I had won. As I stepped out of the courtroom, I saw Amy and her lawyer. They were furious. Amy glared at me, her eyes blazing with hatred. "This isn't over, Tia. I'll find a way to destroy you. You'll pay for what you've done." I ignored her and walked away. With the legal battle resolved, I could finally focus on rebuilding my life. I started taking self-defense classes to regain my confidence and independence. I also joined a support group for survivors of domestic abuse. There I found a sense of community and strength. Meanwhile, Amy was becoming increasingly desperate. She couldn't afford rent and was constantly on the move. Rumors spread about her shady past and people avoided her. She tried reaching out to me, pleading for money, but I refused. I knew she wouldn't stop until she had drained me completely. One day I got a call from the police. They informed me that Amy had been caught trying to break into my house. I told them to hold her and charge her with trespassing. As the months passed, Amy faded into obscurity. The incidents that followed her like a shadow, the failed relationships and the petty crimes became whispers in the wind. And finally, there was silence. Today, I live a quiet life in my hometown. The pain of the past has faded, replaced by a newfound strength and wisdom. The ordeal taught me that trust is hard to come by and even harder to regain. Sometimes you have to let go of the past to embrace the future. The house where it all happened still stands, a silent witness to my journey of resilience. The scars may remain, but they serve as a reminder of how far I've come. If you found yourself in a similar situation, remember, you are not alone. Reach out to friends, family, or professionals for help. And above all, believe in your strength to overcome. Remember, true strength lies in facing adversity with courage and determination. It's not about the size of our bodies, but the size of our hearts and spirits. Stay strong, stay aware, and never lose sight of your worth. Thank you for joining me on this journey of resilience and strength. If you found this story as impactful as I did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with those who need it. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay empowered, and shine brightly in the world.